5 perfumes that are absolute masterpieces. Now, of course, to use a word like masterpiece, that's a very strong word. It's reserved for those that have really paved a way in the perfume industry. They have set a certain precedent in terms of the quality and the effect and just how beloved they are. One of these has been around for a century. Others have been around for decades. There's one here that's been around for a few centuries, actually. These are really amazing and magnetic perfumes. I'm excited to tell you about them very shortly, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about these 5 perfumes that are absolute classics, they are masterpieces in my mind and in my eye. These are all exemplary of what these types of perfumes within their respective olfactive families should smell like and should represent. And, you know, if it weren't for these perfumes, the fragrance industry would not be what it is today. But before I start the video, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really, really mean a lot to me. So these are amazing fragrances. You know, I purchased them all at one point in time in my, YouTube career, if you will, because I just knew I either loved them or I have so much respect for them that I had to eventually acquire them. And of course, I'm a proud owner of every single one of these bottles. You know, that's not to say that I wear them all the time or I wear them every day. You know, a lot of these are marketed for women. I don't really care about that. If I like how it smells, I'm still going to spray it on and I'm going to enjoy it. Let's go ahead and start things off with the one in the number 5 spot. So this one is, just looking at the bottle, you know what it is already, 4711. So the only issue with this one is that the longevity is like 30 minutes. Right? So this is one that you have to reapply several times throughout the day. And of course, this is a very citrus heavy fragrance. There's a lot of neroli in this. And so it opens up very fresh and very bright. And it's just a very easygoing, uplifting grab and go fragrance. We've seen perfumes like Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford take inspiration from 4711, the world's first eau de cologne, the original eau de cologne, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Of course, you know, the longevity could improve significantly, but we're not worried about that. We're talking about, and the fact that this came out a few hundred years ago is quite impressive, to say the least. An amazing fragrance, and it's the presence of the citrus, I think, that lifts so many people's spirits and puts them in a positive emotional state. And citrus fragrances, whether it be neroli or petitgrain or yuzu or bergamot or grapefruit or whatever, it tends to do that for me. And I think, taking care of your mental health is very important, which is why I would love to take a moment to talk to you about the sponsor of today's video, the paid sponsor, which is BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. Well, first, you go to their website. You can use my link, betterhelp.com/redolessence. You answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping others with struggles just like yours. You can do this all from the comfort of your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started pretty fast. So let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Of course, visit betterhelp.com/redolessence, or you can choose Redolessence during sign up and you can enjoy a special discount on your first month. So of course, please prioritize your mental health. It is paramount. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Let's continue with the video. Now, the fragrance in the number 4 spot. Now, this is a more contemporary release, if I may use that term, but this is such a beautiful, sensual, elegant, rose-based perfume. And this one is composed by Maurice Roussel, who is amazing, right? He's done so many masterpiece perfumes out there, like Musc Ravageur by Frederic Malle, Uncut Gem by Frederic Malle, although I'd be a little hesitant in calling that one a masterpiece, but I enjoy it very much. This one is Amouage Rose by Shalimar. This is one that you don't want to miss. I mean, please, 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 please. If you haven't tried this one, you're a fan of Rose, and you want them to be very sort of outgoing and statement making, this is such a beautiful perfume. It's sensual, it's romantic, and I personally consider this to be a masterpiece. I know the House of Shalimar has many fragrances out there. This is by far my favorite. Like, the moment I smelled this, and I smelled this on other people as well, and this is just incredible. Amouage Rose. I have a tiny bottle here and I treasure it. The drawback to this one is that it's quite expensive. So if you can get a sample of it, I would highly recommend you do that. The next fragrance I want to talk about, and this is such a beautiful, fruity, floral composition, and I really, really love this one. And this one is, oh my goodness, by Lancôme. It's called Trésor. Now, of course, Lancôme has Idole, and they have La Vie est Belle, and they have so many other beautiful perfumes that are worn by the modern woman. And this one, going back as far as it does, is starting to reach, I wouldn't say it's super close to reaching classic status, but it's on its way, is what I want to say. And this is just such a beautiful, I don't remember if it's peach or apricot, but it's such a beautiful fruity floral expression. And my goodness, I smelled this so many times, you know, during my childhood. And then, you know, more recently I said I need to get a bottle of it, even though it was probably owned by my mother at one point in time. And I've smelled it on many other women. But I said, you know, for my own personal reference purposes, I need to acquire a bottle of Trésor by Lancôme. It's absolutely beautiful. Such a pretty fragrance. Now, of course, the next one, I believe it's marketed as a unisex fragrance, but I see more gentlemen really wearing this one quite often and enjoying it. And this one is a lavender-based offering, but it leans a little powdery. So that's the drawback with this one, right? So the drawback, and I suppose there's a drawback with any perfume, right? It all has to cater to your personal tastes, inevitably, or you're not going to buy it, right? But this one, I purchased it like, you know, when I first sampled it, and when I was first reading up on this perfumer's like catalog of releases, and I realized that I fell in love with so many of the perfumes that he's made. This is made by perfumer Bertrand Duchaufour, and this one from the brand Penhaligon's is called Sartorial. And the thing with Sartorial is it's this classy, gentlemanly, barbershop leaning, powdery lavender fragrance. And every time I smell it, like, this is the definition of a barbershop fragrance, if I'm being honest with you. When I think of a barbershop scent, this is what comes to mind. Yeah, you know, there's green ingredients and there's a lot of citrus. And of course, you know, it depends on, like, you know, Barbasol has a scent as well. But there's just something about Penhaligon's. I knew I had to get this one. And of course, the brand has so many incredible fragrances like Halfeti and Endymion and, you know, Changing Constants. And they just have a lot of really wonderful releases. But in the number one spot, you know, there might be a bit of a disagreement here. I'm of the camp that believes that this fragrance is a masterpiece, and I will stand by that. I will fight that tooth and nail. I think this is just a beautiful, super identifiable olfactive profile. The moment you smell this one, you're going to know what it is. If you smell this in the air, you know that there is a very confident, distinguished woman who's wearing this one. And this one has, in so many ways, withstood the test of time. It is still being manufactured. It's all flankered out. There's so many flankers for this one, you can't even keep up anymore. And for good reason. I think, you know, it has such a powerful fan base and so many adoring fans. And of course, this is a vanilla-based offering, and it's so iconic. I mean, everybody knows what this smells like. And even those of you who don't know what it smells like, when you smell it, you're gonna be like, oh, that's the perfume? Because it's one of those things, right? It's even like a song you hear on the radio and you're like, no, I don't think I've ever heard songs by this particular artist. And then you play the song for them and they're like, oh yeah, I did hear that before. So this one, and I know you know what it is. This one by Guerlain is called Shalimar. Masterpiece, masterpiece, masterpiece. So if you disagree with me, good. I want to hear from you, right? We all have disparate opinions, so not everybody is going to share the same exact opinions on what is considered a masterpiece and what isn't. But in my opinion, these 5 fragrances that I have in my collection, very blessed to have these are all masterpieces. So let me know. Do you agree? Drop your comment down below. Do you disagree? Also drop your comment down below. I just love the interaction. I love reading your comments. It gives me a lot of respite. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something of value from this video. And of course, if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.